Hi, and now we're joined by the secret fantasy footballer. And if any of you have played an online game called Xpert 11, you'll be pleased to know that there is a brand new book out which shows you all about how to play it, and it's a tips, tricks, and secrets guide. So, I'd like to say hello and welcome to the secret fantasy footballer. Hi,
Hi there.
hi. And can we start off maybe by going through why you've put this book together?
Well, when I first started playing Xpert 11, there was a guide written by someone called Left Bank, and I got a great help from his book. And it really helped me play the game and get deeper into it, understand the game was deeper. It really got me hooked, if you like.
Right. Okay.
And then recently there was a comment on the Xpert 11 forum about how nobody discusses the subtleties of the game anymore. I kind of felt a bit sad about that because I thought that was what really got me into it. It was not just a superficial manager game. There's
Mm,
quite a lot to it that you really have to work at and really get a lot of joy out of.
mm, mm.
And so maybe looking back at the old left blank guide, thinking maybe I should promote that again. Say to people that that's still out there. Then I thought no, it's really out of date now. But ironically, a couple of years ago, left blank, he asked me to help him in updating his guide, but that was a project that was never finished. And so again, this comment made me think maybe that I should go back and finish that guide that Left Bank wanted to update. And so the subtleties of the game would be discussed again, because there's been thousands of new managers since that guide was written who have not been aware of the depth of the game or how to play it at an advanced level. And so I took it upon myself to treat Left Bank's request as a call to arms to follow in his footsteps and produce an up-to-date guide. And so that's what I've hoped to do. I hope I've produced one that's easy to read and informative enough to give everyone a synthesis of information, enabling everyone now to access the deeper levels of the game.
Right. Okay. That sounds really good. It sounds like quite a complicated game. So how do you go about making a guide to something that is that complex?
Yeah, it's a kind of funny game because it starts off very simple. Just put together a team and you play other teams and you win or lose. Sounds simple, easy to do, all completely fictitious players. You're not dealing with real players in like a fancy league,
Yeah.
fancy Premier League type thing. Um, but underneath it's called easy to play, hard to master.
Right.
It's the hard to master bit that's kind of interesting. And over the years, I've collected scraps of information about the game from all over the place, from the rules, the forums, conversations with other managers, even from the guide, Left Bank's guide, from theories I've worked out myself. I had a whole big bundle of stuff, some on cyber, some on Word documents, some on scraps of paper, some pinned to my wall, some on my camera, some all over the place, bits and pieces.
Not that
So I'm
you're
thinking,
obsessed. Sorry, go on.
not as obsessed as many. Actually, we'll get to that in the future about more people obsessed than me. But
Right.
I
Okay.
suddenly found I had all this stuff, and I thought, well, I've actually got mostly a new guide together anyway.
Mm,
What if I just put all this stuff together? And then I thought, well, okay, dug all what I had together, and then I sort of dug through the forums on the site to see any more information was out there, and it's fascinating stuff. There's people really so caring about the game, the obscure parts of the game, and they dedicate so much time to working out why things happen and how to take advantage of it. And they do nothing with it. They write one post in a forum, and I think, well, it's just completely it's lost. And so I dug all that out as well. I took all the best stuff out the forums and went along with all my own stuff.
mm.
It was like, for instance, a guy went out and bought seven goalkeepers just to see what happened about the retirement at the end of the season. Things like that. He just buried it away. He put a little comment, and I thought that's well worth using because that's everyone wants to know what the outcome of that is.
Mm.
There's also stuff where there's a linkage with players with skill qualities, how they link together, which will blow your mind if you read the book.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting.
Um, so yeah, it took a lot of time rewriting all these bits from the forum, piecing all together into proper constructive pieces, clarifying, making sure it all backed up, and then chucked it into with what I had already to create what I call an information soup, a great big mass of stuff that's all come from everywhere, lots of different ingredients, creating one final dish. But it's clearly the creation of the chef, the secret fantasy footballer.
The secret fantasy footballer, indeed. Yes. So, um, I'm sure I'm not alone in wondering why you are indeed the secret fantasy footballer and why you've kind of gone with being anonymous as opposed to being whoever you are in this game. So yeah, why the secret fantasy footballer?
Well, I think I'd like to say the information in the guide is more important than the person who wrote it, and this is a way of stepping back. It's kind of not personality based. I like to think that everyone uses strange names on the site. So everyone's got a kind of funny manager name, and that's kind of part of this. Not saying it's not. That's a way to say it's not important. It's the ideas are important. I'd also like people to read the guide without thinking too much about who wrote it and then why they wrote it. What's their motive? Why did he write that? And also to say why. Well, his teams are rubbish. So, what do you know about it?
Are your teams rubbish then?
No, some are, but
Yeah, maybe you don't
everyone's
want to
in
give
state
it
of
away.
transition,
Okay,
like everyone else is.
fair enough. At least you haven't got a sort of owner or a chairman breathing down your neck, I suppose, about your results.
Not really, no.
So, okay, if there's people out there who are interested in Xpert 11, as well as we know there are, of course, why should they buy it? If I want to play Xpert 11, why should I buy your book, your Tips, Tricks and Secrets book?
Well, I think you should buy the guide because it really helps you. It breaks down how to use the various tactical options and strategies to win a match. So if you're first just starting up the game, it'll help you with all that. You'll understand why you tick these various options and choose these various formations. That alone is worth the money alone. It's like it takes you 6 months forward in starting. Beyond that, it takes you years forward. Once you've started playing a bit, this whole section's on form, guide, on training, DV, developing players, the long-term strategies of team building. And every player should have this by their side whenever they log onto the website, because it's always going to help you. Somewhere you look at it, it'll either explain something or show how to use it to your advantage. And the more you play the game, the more this guide will divulge more information. Some things you might think, well, what's he getting at? What's he mean? And then you'll say, oh, that's what he means. And there's some incredibly technical stuff at the back of the book, which is written by the game's originator, the guy who developed the game in the first place in 2003. I've got his permission to quote big things he wrote in 2005 and 2007 about how the game engine works, which you won't get anywhere else now. So things like that alone, which may be far too technical, and they're translated from Swedish, and they're incredibly technical, but they're there for you. They're there at the back as a bonus in the injury time section of the book, if you like.
Yes.
There's also loads and loads of really useful charts and tables, percentage lists, things like that, which I've got pinned all over my wall, and I've just kind of put them into the book. These things you should photocopy out the book, whatever you do with a Kindle, print them out, stick them on your wall, because they will help you every day you play a match, before the match and after the match, working out skill increases. I really, all this stuff is just so priceless, and it's there gathered together in one place. And what I really think, the physical book should come with a pack of sticky notes, because you're going to stick them all over the book, saying this referencing it continually.
Fantastic. It sounds like the idea is then it's just there, your kind of table-side companion. Whenever you go into to play Xpert 11, it's just there as a reference book, essentially. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, that's right. It's an absolute reference guide, day-to-day reference guide, and also shows you more about the deeper development of the game as well.
Brilliant. Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Secret. If you could just finally let us know where can people get this book if they want to get it?
Sorry, where to get it? So
Yes.
You're breaking up there on me.
Where can you get hold of the book?
Where to get it from is you go to the Amazon website and you search in either Kindles or physical books or all departments, search for Xpert 11, Tips, Tricks and Secrets, and you'll see there's two options. One's a Kindle option and one's a physical book option. And that's the place to get it from.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and for everybody out there, just to reiterate that if they need to get the book, if you want to get the book, you go to Amazon and you search for the Secret Fantasy Footballers Xpert 11 Tips, Tricks and Secrets. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, bye.